Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Majora boy and welcome back to another video. So Google recently unveiled the Pixel 4a, which is one of the most awaited phone of this year after the OnePlus Nord. So without any further await, let's roll the intro and let me tell you guys everything you need to know about the Google Pixel 4a. Let's start off with the display of the phone. The Pixel 4a has a 5.8-inch 60Hz FHD Plus OLED display with a resolution of 1080x2340 along with a PPI of 443 and an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. Now when it comes to the design of the display, it has the hole punch layout, which is pretty much an industry standard now for most Android smartphones out there. Now due to the hole punch, the Pixel 4a is actually smaller than the Pixel 4, but even though it is smaller than the Pixel 4, the Pixel 4a still has a slightly bigger display. The Pixel 4 has a 5.7-inch OLED display in comparison to the Pixel 4a, which has a 5.8-inch OLED display. This has been possible due to the Pixel 4a having really thin bezels all around it in comparison to the Pixel 4, which had this really thick top bezel. Now I personally love the dimensions of this phone as I'm a big fan of compact phones. But what I really like here is that even though the Pixel 4a is compact, it still doesn't compromise on screen real estate and does give you a reasonably sized display. Coming to the internals of the phone, the Pixel 4a is powered by the Snapdragon 730, which is an 8-core CPU. It has 6 high-efficiency cores clocked in at 1.8 GHz along with 2 high-performance cores operating at 2.2 GHz. The 730 also has an integrated Adreno 618 GPU, which is not the best for gaming as demanding games like PUBG Mobile cannot hit extreme frame rate even on smooth settings. But you can play on ultra settings, which is not that bad. Maybe through a software update from the developers of PUBG, the game can be optimized for extreme frame rate at smooth settings. So if you want to do light gaming on the Google Pixel 4a, then you can easily do that as the Pixel 4a can handle light games. But if you want to play more demanding games like PUBG Mobile or COD Mobile on the 4a, then your gaming experience won't be the best, but it won't be terrible either. Coming to the rest of the technical specs, the Pixel 4a has 6GB of RAM along with 128GB of internal storage, and the storage is UFS 3.1. Now there is only one storage and RAM configuration for the Pixel 4a, which makes buying the phone more easier for the consumer as there is only one type of Pixel 4a, and in my opinion 128GB of storage is more than enough for a phone in 2020. On top of that, the phone also comes in one color, which is matte black. In my opinion, the matte black on the Pixel looks really sleek and minimal, which is something I really dig. Now let's talk about the battery. The Pixel 4a has a 3140 mAh battery in it. Now that doesn't sound great on a spec sheet until you factor in Google's adaptive battery system, and that's Snapdragon 730, which will allow you to easily get through the day with your Pixel 4a. You see, Google's adaptive battery system basically prolongs your battery life through software by using your battery only on the apps and services you care about. And when you factor in that 730, which doesn't take up that much juice, the Pixel 4a can actually give you very good battery life, even though its battery does not sound that good on paper. Okay, so let's talk about the star feature of the Pixel 4a, and that is its camera. The Pixel 4a has a single 12.2 megapixel rear camera, which has an f1.7 aperture and a field of view of 77 degrees, along with OIS and EIS. Now the photos this rear camera can take is just mind-blowing, and it can even compete with cameras of flagship phones. It's that good. You see, the hardware of the Pixel 4a isn't that good, but it's able to achieve these photos due to its computational photography. And let me tell you one thing, the computational photography of this phone is insane. If you saw Arun's video, aka Mr. Who's the Boss, where he tried to capture some photos of the night sky using Google's night sight from the Pixel 4a, you will remember that the end results were insane. You can see how grainy the footage is looking in this shot while capturing the night sky, but after the shot is captured and rendered, you can see the difference between the two is just huge, and it really shows you how good Google's AI really is. Coming to video, the rear camera can record video in 1080p 60 fps, 720p 60 fps and 4K 30 fps. When it comes to slow motion, the camera can record slow-mo videos in 1080p 120 fps and 720p 240 fps. The Pixel has a 8 megapixel front-facing camera which has an aperture of f2.0 and a field of view of 84 degrees. The front-facing camera can record videos in 1080p 30 fps. So overall, the camera is really good for the price. Like, it can't get better than this. The Pixel 4a can take really good photos in daytime and nighttime. The Pixel 4a can also take some really good video, but when it actually comes to it, I'll prefer the iPhone SE over the Pixel 4a when it comes to video, as the SE does have better video recording capabilities and quality. When it comes to biometrics, the Pixel 4a has a back-end fingerprint sensor rather than an in-display fingerprint sensor. I was actually expecting an in-display fingerprint sensor, as it is really common on Android phones in this price segment. But I'm completely fine with the back-end fingerprint sensor as well, as long as it's fast and secure. Now when it comes to the Pixel 4a's speaker, it has a dual stereo speaker setup which sounds really good and is great for watching media on the Pixel 4a. Coming to ports, the Pixel 4a has a Type-C port for charging and transferring data, along with the legendary headphone jack. You heard me correct, the headphone jack, which is really good for a budget smartphone, as someone on a budget might not want to spend a lot of cash on a pair of wireless earphones and would prefer using the wired ones. Now the Pixel isn't perfect, it is missing a lot of things, like a high refresh rate display, being water resistant, and having wireless charging. Now, not having these features on the Pixel, in my opinion, is not a big deal. As I said in my OnePlus Nord video, just because a phone has an IP rating, it doesn't make the phone completely waterproof. Now, not having wireless charging on a phone is not a big deal, as wireless charging, in my opinion, still needs to advance a lot more for it to actually become a viable source of charging our devices. So if it is not there on a phone, I really don't mind it. And a high refresh rate on a display, in my opinion, is the cherry on top of any display out there. The main thing that I look for in a good display is its resolution, its PPI, and how color accurate the display actually is. So even though these are downsides of the Pixel 4a, they are not that big. Okay, let's talk about the pricing of the Pixel 4a. So in the United States, the Pixel 4a will be priced at $350 and will be available from 20th August. Coming out to India, we don't really have a lot of details regarding its price or release date, other than the fact that it will be coming out sometime in October for India. So coming to the last part of the video, should you be buying the Pixel 4a? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. You see, the Pixel 4a isn't innovative by any means, but it is a phone that has nailed the basics, and the Pixel heavily focuses on the core experience of Android. Whereas its competitor, the OnePlus Nord, focuses more on a balance between hardware and software experience. So if you're somebody who's looking for the best Android experience a phone can offer you, paired along with a really amazing camera and other basic hardware, then the Pixel 4a is the best bet for you. But if you're looking for a phone that has really good hardware, like a high refresh rate display, a really powerful processor, and a very good battery, which is paired with a snappy and clean OS like Oxygen OS, then there is no going wrong with the OnePlus Nord. Well guys, that's all for today. Tell me down in the comments below, what do you guys think about the Google Pixel 4a and whether you'll be picking one up. Don't forget to comment, as the more you guys comment, the more engagement this video gets and the more YouTube promotes it. It won't even take a second of yours, but it'll really help your boy out. If you guys liked the video, then please leave a quick fat thumbs up on it. But if you loved it, then please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this one. And as always, this is your boy Majora boy signing off for today, and I'll see you in the next one.